Today, I'm going to show you the marketing knowledge that every successful e-commerce business owner must know, but hardly anyone talks about. Wait until you see how understanding a few simple concepts will elevate your dropshipping profits. If you're new to the channel, my name is James Eardley. I've generated about £1 million worth of sales with my e-commerce businesses so far, and I'm also a coach with these weekly videos on my YouTube channel. Today's video is perfect for anyone looking to increase and understand their dropshipping profits, because we're going to be diving into the world of ROAS, which stands for Return on Ad Spend. So if you've ever wondered how to optimize and evaluate your marketing efforts so you know whether you're profitable or not, then this video is for you. I'm going to explain everything, and there's also a free tool which I'm going to include with the video, so watch until the end to find out how to get access to that. Firstly, let's talk about what ROAS is. So as I say, ROAS stands for Return on Ad Spend. And simply put, it's a metric that you can see whenever you run an ad campaign to find out how much money you're getting back for the investment in the ads that you're making. So Return on Ad Spend literally means the return, so the amount of revenue that you generate for the amount that you spend on ads. Now, why is that a crucial metric for you? Well, it will tell you exactly how much money you're getting back for the investment you're putting in. So you know the number that you need to achieve to be running a profitable campaign. And that way you'll know whether you're making money with your business, if you're breaking even, or if you're at a loss. And that's incredibly important for the long-term health of your business. Now, with digital marketing, the best thing about it is how easily we can track the metrics and the performance that you're achieving with your ad campaigns, whether that's Google ads or Meta ads, or whichever platform you use, TikTok, Snapchat, whichever you decide is the best for your niche. Then there'll always be a metric that will allow you to understand the return that you're getting for your ad spend. And that's the key metric. I run my e-commerce businesses primarily with Google ads, and that's how I drive traffic to my store and generate consistent sales. And the key figure is the return on ad spend, but that's actually called conversion value over cost. That's the metric that you'll see in your Google ads account, and that's the one that's telling you the return that you're getting on your ad spend. Before we run a campaign, the first thing that you need to do is to work out the break-even return on ad spend. So that's the return that you need to achieve to break even with your campaign. Now, of course, we're not in business to break even, but the reason why we find out the break-even return on ad spend is the first thing we do is that you then have a benchmark. So you know, as long as I'm achieving this return on ad spend, I'll be breaking even, and anything above that is a profit. So it gives you a benchmark. It gives you a number to know that you cannot go below that because you'll be making a loss, and anything above that is a profit. So now I'm going to show you how to work out your break-even ROAS, or break-even return on ad spend. The way that you find out your ROAS is actually closely linked to the margins that you've got with your suppliers. So the first thing you need to know is what is the average margin that you've got across all of your suppliers, and that's the way you can find out what your break-even return on ad spend is. So this means if you have a higher margin or a larger margin, then you can afford to achieve a lower return on ad spend with your campaign to make a profit. So let me show you now exactly how this works. So this is a very simple tool to show you how closely linked margin and break-even return on ad spend is. And actually, I'll give you some figures so that you can slot in what your margins are, so you know the break-even ROAS that you need to achieve. So what I'll go through first is show you how the different margins that you've got will link to the break-even ROAS. Then you can have a play around with this later so you can find out the exact figures that you need to achieve. So firstly, we'll go down in order of the margin that you achieve. So if you've only got a very small margin, so say 10% is the first example. So you've only been given 10% by your suppliers. So that means for every £1,000 product you sell, they're giving you a 10% margin, which means you'd have a £100 gross profit margin with them. Now, because you've got a very low margin, you're only making £100 for the £1,000 sale that you generated. You need to achieve a ROAS of 10. That means for every £1 you spend, you need to achieve £10 back in revenue. That's your break-even ROAS, and that shows you that if you spend £100, you need to get £1,000 back, and that shows you that you've broken even. So see how my maths is working there, and you can understand that that is just the break-even ROAS that you'd have with a 10% margin. Now, that's a very low margin for dropshipping, so I'd expect more. So these will probably become more realistic as we work our way down. Now, see how when we increase the margin that we've got from suppliers, so if you've got an average gross margin of 15%, now the target that you'll have to break even with your return on ad spend is lower. you don't need as much of a good performance with your advertising when you've got a better margin. It allows you more room with the better margin that you've got. There's more money for you to make per order, which means you've got more room to play with your advertising campaign. So keep this in mind. As we go down now to, we'll jump ahead now to 30%, because that's the average dropshipping gross margin that I see with my suppliers and the suppliers of people within the Dropship Unlocked community. With a 30% margin, you'll only need a return on ad spend of 3.33 to achieve break even. So you'll know that anything above that, which is simple to achieve with the right things in place, you'll be profitable. Then as we go down, things get better and better. And actually, if you've got a 50% margin, then you'll only need to achieve a ROAS of 2 to break even. And anything above that, you'll be profitable, which is very simple to do. As I say, with the right marketing tactics, with the right suppliers, and with the right Shopify store. So you can see here now with this table, the better your margin, the lower ROAS you need to achieve with your marketing campaign. Now, when we take a look at this on a little graph put together, the margin impact on break-even ROAS, you can see it's not linear. You'll make a lot of gains when you increase your margin further down the scale. So see, if you've got only like a 15% margin initially, well, if you can get that from 15 to 20 and you can negotiate a 5% difference, only 5%, it makes a big difference to the ROAS that you need to achieve to break even. But hopefully this shows the importance of increasing your margin and how that makes your marketing campaigns much more simple to be profitable. Finally, this is a section where you can enter your own margin. So you can enter in the margin that you've negotiated with your suppliers, wherever that may be, and whatever margin you have negotiated with your suppliers, the break-even ROAS will work it out. And if you've got a margin, once you've worked out all the details of your supplier's contract, and it's a bit of an awkward number, like 31, it'll still work it out. So it's, if it's not on the table, you can work out exactly the break-even ROAS that you need to achieve with the average margin that you've got. This is a free tool that's available for you. If you go down into the description, you can download a copy of this, play around with it, work out the numbers, get this sort of glued into your mind, come back to this when you've got new suppliers on board. And with this knowledge, it's sort of the critical knowledge to know how to make an impactful and effective marketing campaign. So that wraps up today's video in terms of understanding your return on ad spend, calculating the break-even that you need to achieve, and finding out how you can boost your return on ad spend and boost the profits within your business. Remember, understanding the numbers to your business is going to be crucial for your long-term success, but it's just the first step. You need to have all of the different foundations in place so that you can make sure that you're running a profitable campaign. You need to have good suppliers, you need to have a business set up, you need to have a Shopify store. There's lots of steps to take to make sure you're going to get the best possible return on your ad spend. So the first place I'd recommend for you to start to grow an e-commerce business with the best possible return on ad spend, I'd recommend a book, which is a step-by-step guide for you to build an e-commerce business, which uses the dropshipping fulfillment method, and it's all based in the UK. The book is called The Home Turf Advantage, and it's written by Lewis Smith, who's the founder of Dropship Unlocked, and you can pick up a copy of his book in the description below. Also, if you want to find out how you can build a business within just 30 days, then check out my latest video, which is a challenge for you to build a high-ticket dropshipping business within 30 days that will allow you to generate 10K a month. So click the video that's on screen now, subscribe and like if you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one.